forgot I can't drill the holes yet. I have to actually glue this in place to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put that about where it's going to be and mark it with pencil. And then I'm going to put, or go ahead and mark another line that's close to it to define where the glue will be placed. And then go ahead and put contact or the rubber cement on both sides. Okay, I'll give that a couple minutes and put it together. This is dry enough to put together now. Before I press it down too tight, I'm going to put one of these knives in here to see how it fits. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, I'll go drill the holes and get ready to stitch it. I've got the holes drilled for the stitching, but I'm going to still have to go around the back with the hand groover and groove this line before I stitch it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. I finished grooving with this little hand groove around the back so you can see where the stitches are going to be. So the next step is to go ahead and stitch this up, and then I'll trim off this excess leather. I've gotten ready to stitch this up. I've gone ahead and gotten the needles and the thread ready. I've got it extra long. I have to start and go all the way around without running out of thread, so I have plenty here. So I'm going to start, and I will probably stop and just finish it off camera because this will take quite a while to finish. And you can hear my dog over there. He's decided he wants to be a little noisy. Okay, I'll come back in a little while when I'm done with this. I've finished the stitching here. It took, probably 25 minutes. So it's stitched all the way around the edge and on the back. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and trim off this extra leather here. Okay, now it's starting to look like a real case. I'll end up cleaning this up a little bit, and I'm going to have to restain this edge. Now it's starting to look like a real case. Here's the knife. Oh yeah, that fits in there nice. And I'll still have to make the little flap that comes over here. So let me go get prepared to stain this edge again and trim it up. I'm going to clean it up a little bit before I do that. Before I stain this, I wanted you to see how this looks after I cleaned up the edges. So I used that edge tool on it to round off the edges again and cleaned it all up, even the top edge a little bit more. So I'm going to go ahead and restain this. Some of these areas are pretty close, so I've got a little paintbrush in here so I can try to keep from getting on the stitching. I'm going to go ahead and put the gloves back on. I guess the downside to using the solvent-based dye is that it will bleed over if you're not careful into things you don't want it to go on. So that's why I'm trying to be extra careful with this last touch up here. Okay. Let it dry and then put the sealer on it.